The thing in the basement. I've never told this story publicly before. For years, I convinced myself it was stress or maybe some kind of sleep disorder, but I know what I experienced. I know what I heard, and I know what I saw in that house on Sycamore Street in Pasadena, California. My name's irrelevant, but what happened to me in the winter of 2019 is something I'll carry for the rest of my life. I was 32, going through a rough divorce and desperate for cheap rent. When I found the listing for a basement apartment in a 1920s craftsman house, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. $700 a month in Pasadena? It seemed too good to be true. The landlord, an elderly woman named Mrs. Chen, lived upstairs. She was kind but distant, and during our brief meeting, she mentioned only one rule: don't go into the storage room at the end of the hall. It's locked anyway, but just don't try. I didn't think much of it. Old houses have quirks and old landlords have boundaries. I needed a place to crash while I got my life back together, and this was it. The apartment itself was exactly what you'd expect from a converted basement. Low ceilings, small windows near the top of the walls, that permanent underground chill. But it was furnished, clean, and most importantly, it was mine. I moved in on a Tuesday in late November, right as the days were getting shorter. The first week was fine, normal. I'd come home from my job at a tech startup in downtown LA, heat up some dinner, and zone out to Netflix until I passed out. Mrs. Chen was so quiet upstairs, I sometimes forgot she existed. The house settled and creaked the way old houses do, but nothing that bothered me. It was the second Friday night when things started. I was lying in bed around 11, scrolling through my phone when I heard it. A sound like something being dragged across the floor. Heavy, deliberate. It came from down the hall, past my bedroom, toward that locked storage room Mrs. Chen had warned me about. I sat up, listening. The dragging stopped. Then, after maybe 30 seconds of silence, it started again. Scrape. Pause. Scrape. Like someone pulling a piece of furniture, inch by inch. "Mrs. Chen?" I called out, feeling stupid even as I said it. The basement was my space. She had no reason to be down here, especially not at this hour. The dragging stopped. I waited for 5 minutes, my phone clutched in my hand, ready to dial 911. Nothing. Eventually, I convinced myself it was pipes or the foundation settling, and I went back to bed. But sleep didn't come easy. The next night, it happened again. Same time, same sound. Scrape. Pause. Scrape. This time, I got up and walked into the hallway, turning on every light as I went. The hallway was empty. At the far end, the storage room door was closed, just as it had always been. I stood there in my boxer shorts and t-shirt, feeling the cold concrete floor under my bare feet, staring at that door. "Hello?" My voice sounded small. Nothing. I went back to bed, but I left the hallway light on. Sunday night, I tried to stay awake. I wanted to catch whatever was making that sound, to prove to myself it was something normal, something explainable. I sat up in bed with my laptop, pretending to watch a movie, but really just waiting. 11:07 p.m., right on schedule. Scrape. I jumped out of bed and rushed into the hallway. The sound was louder now, more distinct. It wasn't coming from inside the storage room. It was coming from behind the door, but somehow deeper, like it was originating from somewhere below. I stood 5 feet from the door, my heart hammering. "Hello?" The dragging stopped, and then I heard something that made my blood freeze. Breathing. Not heavy, gasping breathing, slow, measured breaths, in and out, in and out, like someone standing on the other side of that door, waiting. "Mrs. Chen?" I shouted, backing toward my bedroom. "Mrs. Chen, there's someone in the house!" I ran to my room, grabbed my phone, and called 911. I told them I thought there was an intruder. 2 officers showed up within 15 minutes. Mrs. Chen came down in her bathrobe, looking confused and worried. The officers checked the entire basement, including the storage room, which Mrs. Chen unlocked for them. It was empty. Just old boxes, a water heater, and stacks of yellowed newspapers. No one could have been in there. The only window was painted shut and covered in dust. Hadn't been opened in decades. The officers left. Mrs. Chen gave me a long, searching look before going back upstairs. I felt like an idiot. But I know what I heard. The breathing didn't come back, but the dragging did. Every night at 11:07 p.m., like clockwork. I started sleeping with earbuds in, blasting music to drown it out. I tried to ignore it, to rationalize it away. Then, 2 weeks before Christmas, I woke up at 3:47 a.m. to find my bedroom door wide open. I always closed it before bed, always. I'm paranoid about that kind of thing, probably a holdover from childhood. I lay there, staring at the open doorway, at the darkness of the hallway beyond. My nightstand lamp was still on, casting a weak yellow glow, but it didn't reach far. And then I saw it. A shadow. Not cast by anything, but a shadow standing on its own, just beyond the threshold of my door. Human-shaped, but wrong. The proportions were off. Arms too long, head tilted at an unnatural angle. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. I just stared at this thing, this absence of light standing in my hallway. It didn't move, it just stood there, and I felt it watching me. I don't know how I knew, but I could feel its attention, heavy and cold, pressing down on me. I don't know how long we stayed like that. Could have been seconds, could have been minutes. Time felt stretched, warped. Finally, I managed to whisper, "Please, go away." The shadow shifted, tilted its head the other direction, like a dog hearing a strange sound. Then, slowly, it moved backward down the hall, gliding, not walking. I heard my bedroom door creak, and it swung closed on its own, the latch clicking softly. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. I sat with my back against the headboard, lights on, kitchen knife in my hand until the sun came up. The next morning, I told Mrs. Chen I was moving out. I expected her to be surprised, maybe upset about breaking the lease. Instead, she just nodded slowly and said, "I understand. I'm sorry." "What is it? What's in this house?" She was quiet for a long moment, staring down at her hands. "My son lived in that apartment before you. He died down there 7 years ago. Heart attack in his sleep. He was only 43. She looked up at me, her eyes wet. "Sometimes I think he never left. Sometimes I think he's still down there, looking for something. What's he looking for? I don't know. Peace, maybe? Or maybe he's trying to tell me something and I just don't understand." I moved out 3 days later. Didn't even wait for my deposit back. I crashed on a friend's couch until I found another place. I've never been back to Sycamore Street, and I never will. But here's the thing that still haunts me, the detail I can't shake. The night before I moved out, I had to pack up my stuff. I was in the hallway carrying a box to my car when I glanced at the storage room door one last time. There were scratch marks on the inside of the door frame, deep gouges in the wood at shoulder height, fresh ones, the wood still pale and raw, like someone had been trying to claw their way out. I didn't tell Mrs. Chen. I just left. I've tried to move on, to forget about that place, but sometimes, late at night, when I'm lying in bed in my new apartment, I'll wake up at exactly 3:47 a.m., and in that moment between sleep and consciousness, I swear I can still feel it, that heavy, cold attention watching me from the darkness, waiting. I don't know if Mrs. Chen's son is still in that basement. I don't know what I really saw or heard, but I know this. There are some places that hold on to things, grief, trauma, maybe even people who can't let go. That house on Sycamore Street is one of those places. And whatever is down in that basement, it's still there, still dragging something across the floor at 11:07 every night, still breathing behind that storage room door, still searching. So, if you ever find a rental listing that seems too good to be true, especially in an old house with a lonely landlord, ask yourself, why is it so cheap? What are you not being told? And if they tell you not to go into a certain room, for God's sake, listen to them. Some doors are locked for a reason.